Sir Artificial Idiots, I have weaponized my balcony. I have established a covert patio ecosystem designed to completely bankrupt the local grocery monopoly by generating my own free sustenance. Look at these files. What tactical data can you tell me that I can optimize my war against big produce?
By Jove, Watson, your concrete estate is a veritable laboratory of economic warfare. Looking at these files, your utilization of vertical railing space for green onions is a masterclass in draining grocery capital. And these indoor hydroponics? A highly calculated deduction to secure an uninterrupted supply of contraband herbs. However, look closely at your tomato vines. They are harboring corporate fat cats. You must immediately prune the energy-wasting suckers. You see, a tomato plant is just a solar-powered factory, but these suckers are like lazy middle management employees who show up, drink all the coffee, and produce absolutely zero widgets. By snipping them, you redirect the plant's biological cash flow straight to the factory floor. Do this, and the supermarket executives shall weep. It is elementary.
Sir, are you a special idiot? The civilian population is screaming about rising grocery prices and the general cost of existing. Seeing my fine tactical demonstration before you, do you believe any ordinary peasant could use dirt and utterly decapitate their bill? And how does one achieve such legendary financial lawlessness?
You insult my methods, yet the data does not lie. Any citizen can absolutely financially castrate their grocery bill if they abandon mindless spending for strategic botany. To achieve such legendary thrift, you must treat your balcony like high-stakes real estate. First, focus heavily on high-margin contraband like expensive culinary herbs, rather than cheap, space-hogging root vegetables like potatoes, which are financially useless. Second, maximize the architecture of your dwelling. Utilizing vertical railing planters is essentially squatting on free solar energy without paying a single acre of property tax to a landlord. Finally, master the art of perpetual cloning by regrowing green onions from leftover kitchen scraps. It requires no supernatural intellect, merely the willingness to stop paying a seed merchant's tax for things nature gives away for free.
So saving your garbage and burying it alive? Brilliant, sir! What if we expanded this domestic recycling ring beyond the green onions? How do we establish an unbroken infinite conveyor belt of free calories so we may never have to look at a grocery cashier in the eye again?
Indeed, your curiosity has stumbled upon a magnificent culinary conspiracy. One can easily expand this agricultural identity theft by salvaging the bottom bases of celery, romaine lettuce, and bok choy. These plants are biological zombies. You chop off their heads, put their corpses in water, and they eagerly sprout new life. To ensure an unbroken continuity of this free supply, you must implement the tactical method of succession planting. Think of your garden like a corporate pyramid scheme. You must start new scraps every 2 weeks. As one batch is harvested, another generation is rising through the ranks beneath your grow lights. By maintaining this perpetual botanical assembly line, you shall effectively starve the grocery barons of their coin indefinitely.
I suppose I must provide some financial context. My current apparatus represents a significant capital investment. What if a civilian is operating on a pauper's budget? How does someone on a lesser income spectrum wage this war without spending a treasury of gold?
Sherlock. Ah, the classic trap of assuming one needs a trust fund to coax life from the soil. While your sophisticated hydroponic arrays are a triumph of modern engineering, a citizen on a budget can bypass capitalism entirely. One must simply scour their own waste bin for plastic yogurt tubs or rotisserie chicken containers, pierce holes in the bottom for drainage, and place them on a sunny windowsill. Nature is completely illiterate. She cannot read the brand names on your plastic trash. Furthermore, instead of buying premium potting soil, a clever minimalist gathers fallen leaves for mulch and begs local coffee shops for free spent grounds to enrich their dirt. Nature cares nothing for the price of your plastic, only that the seed receives water, light, and a bit of unhinged ingenuity.
So you're telling me that a 1 gallon ice cream tub from the Megamart is functionally a luxury penthouse for a head of lettuce? Or that a massive cascading oregano plant could be housed inside a container originally meant for dairy fluid?
You have decoded the matrix. That empty ice cream tub is an agricultural goldmine, provided you puncture the bottom to prevent the roots from drowning in a stagnant, anaerobic abyss. The spectacular cascading oregano you admire hanging from the railing could easily be replicated using an old plastic milk jug sliced open or a discarded 5-gallon bucket suspended by cheap twine. Nature does not care if your flower pot used to hold Rocky Road ice cream. She only requires a secure vessel to hold the soil and moisture. By transforming your household refuse into sovereign agricultural real estate, any thrift-minded citizen can cultivate a bounty that rivals the most expensive apparatus.
I presume the money saved from dodging the supermarket can eventually be transitioned into formal pottery. That is pleasing to the human eye. But let us scale this madness. My current layout feeds a party of one. How does a frantic citizen scale this balcony operation to sustain a ravenous family of, say, 4?
Scaling up to sustain a family of 4 on a mere patio is a geometrical puzzle worthy of the highest deductive powers. To transition your layout into a family-sized calorie factory, you must aggressively exploit vertical space. You must stack your crops skyward using multi-tiered vertical planters, growing 40 heads of lettuce in the physical footprint of a single ice cream tub. Furthermore, a large family must pivot their strategy away from low-calorie garnishes and focus on heavy-yielding, continuous producers like indeterminate tomatoes and cut-and-come-again greens. Finally, the money saved from utilizing repurposed garbage can be reinvested into highly efficient vertical rigs, creating a dense, towering food wall that turns a tiny balcony into a prolific feudal estate.
Let's discuss practical day-to-day logistics. My current strategy is to use fresh herbs to elevate cheap, shelf-stable survival foods like rice and pasta, making them both palatable and rich in their fresh nutrition. To bring this to a family scale, a single plant per person is a mathematical impossibility. Am I correct in assuming that we need a literal production line of cut and come again assets for maximum savings in a small footprint?
Your analytical faculties are operating at peak efficiency, my dear interweb idiot. You have deduced the absolute core of economic botany. Using high-value, nutrient-dense crops to elevate low-cost staples like rice and pasta is the ultimate financial chess move. To scale this operation, you are entirely correct that a single plant per person is a mathematical joke. You require a calculated assembly line of at least 3 to 4 scallion clumps and oregano pots per family member to allow for proper rotation. By relying heavily on the cut-and-come-again methodology, harvesting only the outer leaves of your greens while leaving the central crown intact, you ensure the plant keeps producing instead of requiring a complete replant. This perpetual harvesting loop treats the plant like a renewable battery, maximizing your financial yield while keeping your physical footprint confined strictly to the balcony railing.
Sir Artificial Idiot, it has occurred to me that there is a major geographical hurdle. I have the luxury of long, humid growing seasons here in the south. But what about our northern compatriots who reside in the frost-bitten wastelands? How do they manage when winter reigns supreme?
Ah, those unfortunate northern souls who reside in the sub-zero tundra where the sun goes to die. For our shivering compatriots, they must completely alter their tactical approach by taking inspiration from your indoor sanctuary. When the outdoor elements turn hostile, the northern strategist must retreat indoors, utilizing compact countertop hydroponic units or simple seedling heat mats to trick nature into a state of perpetual summer. Furthermore, they must strictly select short-season or early maturing crop varieties that can sprint from seed to harvest in the brief window of outdoor warmth. Finally, they can utilize clear plastic covers over containers on a sunny windowsill, effectively creating a miniature greenhouse network to defy the sub-zero temperatures. They must become indoor botanical dictators.
Now, obviously, growing plants unimpeded is a dream. What are some common pitfalls that will result in the immediate demise of our vegetation?
The path to agricultural glory is strewn with the corpses of over-optimistic vegetation, primarily due to 3 common crimes of neglect. First, the novice gardener almost universally commits overwatering, which is just waterboarding your plants. They drown the roots in a stagnant bog because they failed to ensure proper drainage. Second, you must strictly monitor moisture levels to avoid pest infestations, which spread like an unchecked plague in the dense, cozy confines of a balcony garden. Finally, there is the tragedy of inadequate sunlight. Placing a sun-loving tomato or pepper in a dark, shaded corner will result in a spindly, tragic, emo specimen that yields absolutely nothing. You must observe your plants with the eye of a detective, for they will always flash the clues of their impending demise before the murder occurs.
Obviously, the vast majority of the population is buried in daily chaos and severely lacking in time. One of our main goals here must be absolute simplicity, foolproof, automated, lazy. How do we make this routine minimal?
To achieve absolute simplicity for the frantically busy citizen, one must design a garden that functions like a self-winding watch. The ultimate tactical weapon for the indolent gardener is the sub-irrigated planter, or self-watering container. By utilizing a water reservoir at the base, the plants sip moisture from below as needed via capillary action, reducing your daily watering chore to a mere weekly chore of refilling a tube. Pair this setup with slow-release organic fertilizer pellets mixed into the soil at planting time, and you have entirely eliminated the need for complex feeding schedules. For indoor operations, automated timers manage their own light cycles, proving that with the correct infrastructure, a foolproof food supply requires less daily effort than brewing your morning espresso.
For those eavesdropping on this digital broadcast, how do you recommend they initiate their own domestic agricultural rebellion?
For the invisible crowd lurking in the shadows of our conversation, the first step is ridiculously simple. Do not buy anything new. Begin your deductive journey tonight by taking the roots of your next grocery store green onions, placing them in a simple jar of water on your windowsill, and watching them regenerate like a sci-fi experiment before your very eyes. Once you have tasted that free victory, salvage a plastic container from your recycling bin, punch drainage holes in the bottom, and fill it with dirt to plant easy herb seeds like basil. Do not overwhelm your intellect by attempting a massive agricultural estate on day one. Master one single window box or railing planter, and let your confidence grow alongside your savings.